Hey cruisers, happy Tuesday, we did it. How's everybody doing? Let's hang out for a little bit, half an hour or so, and answer those cruise questions. We'd love to invite you to pop your cruise questions into the chat. Use the word question in all caps at the start so we can see it a little bit better. That makes it so much easier for me and for Mr. Cruise Tips TV, who is going to grab those questions and put them up on a screen for me so I can see them better. Want to give a big special shout out to our Backstage Crew on Patreon. If you are a Backstage Crew member, please go ahead and type crew down in the chat. I am not going to be reading off your names today. We're just going to acknowledge them as being there because I want to get right into the questions and make sure that we take good care of all of you guys. Oh my gosh, the non-TA Wendy, I see you. That's really funny. Hello. All right, let's get some questions answered here. I know that a lot of you have questions today because in the pre-chat there was like pre-questions. So I want to make sure that we have plenty of time to get to that and we don't want to lag on that. Now, if for any reason I ever miss your question, you can DM me on Instagram, you can DM Cruise Tips TV on Facebook, or you can come to our Amazon live stream after this and have your question answered. Hi, William Black. Heather Lee said, question, we're in the market for new luggage and would love recommendation. I guess that wasn't an actual question, but you know what I mean. Yes. Heather Lee, hello. The suitcase behind me, that one right there is actually one of my favorites. I took that one with me to California last week. It is from Level 8. It is on sale right now, and if you want to hang in the Amazon live stream and come shop with me afterwards, I'll show it to you. They also have larger models of the suitcases, which are amazing. So Level 8 is my recommendation, and we do have, again, a discount code, and they have all sizes. I see all of our awesome Backstage Crew members here. So good to see all of you guys. I love this so much. I want to make sure that I get those questions here. Make sure that you type your question after the word question too. I saw someone in there who just had question, but then there was no question. All right, Brook City 84, question, what kids stuff do they do on the Grand Princess to Alaska, 6 years old, so excited. Oh, one of my favorite things, Brook City, that they do on Princess in Alaska is something called Puppies in the Piazza. It's not even necessarily for kids, but on most Alaska cruises, they actually bring on board like little, I think they're husky puppies, I'm not sure, but little precious, beautiful pups, and they bring them into the piazza and you get to go down and interact with them. That is a huge treat for kids. Also, all kinds of organized things in the Children's Center, from scavenger hunts to games to video games to crafts. Your kid's gonna need an extra suitcase to take home all the stuff that they do. They'll probably be making picture frames, they'll be coloring t-shirts. They do so many things for kids. Stephanie Foy said, question, what's the best place in the Bahamas to do a children's sailing carnival in April? I need to know how old your kids are, Stephanie, but I really, if you can afford it, and I know it's a little bit of a splurge, but a water park at Atlantis is so fun. So if there's any way that you can do that. Also, Blue Lagoon is great. We have had a lot of fun there. We've been to Blue Lagoon twice, and it's a really fun excursion. Odie Boggs, question, is there a multi-device plan for Wi-Fi on Carnival? I think so. I'd have to look at Carnival's internet plan really quickly there for you, Odie. Let me check. Let me see what they've got going on in the way of their internet plans right now. What is their Wi-Fi situation for you, Odie? Let me see. So they have social, value, and premium per person per day. So I don't know if they're doing multi-device right now, or if they just sell the social device and premium, and then if you wanted to use it for multi-device, you'd probably have to log out and log in. If anybody knows, please let me know. Vernon Womack is home from his cruise and says, I'm experiencing a post-cruise sadness, but I booked another one and it's helping. Oh, that's all we can do, Vernon. Gate Girl, best friend and you want to take a cruise, but you're looking at Royal Caribbean Freedom Class or newer. We're both power wheelchair users trying to figure out what type of cabin to get. Request an ADA cabin for sure. Work with a travel agent to get an accessible cabin. That's the best advice I can give to you. There's amazing cabin categories across the whole fleet on Royal Caribbean for accessible cruising. You could get an ocean view, you could get a balcony, you could probably even get an inside. I would recommend an ocean view and above, Gate Girl, if you can, but you're going to have so much fun. Stephanie Donahoe, hello Stephanie. Stephanie said, what tips do you have for searching for and booking a cruise to Hawaii? Let me have you move the rest of that question up first for me, Stephanie. Let's see. You've only done the Caribbean and on Carnival. Well, Hawaii is a little bit more limiting. So what you have is you have Norwegian's Pride of America stationed in Hawaii. It's basically, I think, the only ship that's stationed in Hawaii that goes around the island. So you'd fly out there and you do Pride of America. Or you can cruise from either like San Francisco or LA, I think, and do 15-night Hawaiian Island cruises from the west coast of the US. So work with a travel agent. I think that's the best thing that you can do if you need a travel agent recommendation. Our travel agency sponsor is in the description of this video. All right. I don't know how we say shirts, WT2THP, so I'm just going to call you shirts. You have a boardwalk balcony on Harmony of the Seas. How noisy is it? You're on deck 10. It just depends. It can be. The boardwalk is definitely more noisy than Central Park. You have the carousel, you have bars, you have the aqua theater. So regardless of what deck you're on, you're going to have that kind of carnival type noise. Usually after 10 p.m. though, it calms down and you shouldn't hear much when you shut the door. Hopefully. Personally, I avoid them because it's too noisy for me. I'd book Central Park, but then you don't have ocean views in Central Park, whereas sometimes in the boardwalk, you can peek back at the ocean a little bit, and at least you can see maybe the aqua theater a little bit. Hard to say. So, yeah. Captain Disney said, how much would you budget for a Princess cruise to Alaska, 5 to 7 nights, sail out of California, Seattle, you'd be flying from Louisiana? Well, they probably don't have a 5-night. You're only going to have 7 nights. I would budget at least $1,500 per person for the cruise itself. And then for air and excursions on top of that, it really depends. Probably $100 to $150 per person per day if you plan to do organized excursions. They are very expensive. Hotel in Seattle, $200-300 a night if you're doing pre or post cruise. And then of course, tip money, drink package, all of that on top of that. So that's probably what I would budget. Bessie said, have y'all ever been on a Viking cruise? No, we haven't. I'd love to go on Viking Ocean sometime, though I've heard nothing but great things about it. Colleen Matthews said, how difficult is it to get ice on a ship? Very easy. Just go up to the buffet, to the water station where they have ice, and you should be able to get ice. Tina Corello, question, waiting patiently for your princess medallion. What happens if they don't arrive? They will. They should arrive. If not, you will pick it up when you get there. And they can even make you a new medallion on the ship, so don't panic. Yeah. Barb Lynn said, question, can you estimate how much cash yen I should bring to Japan, April, Westerdam, 12 Japan ports? Okay, Barb, don't take the cash with you to Japan. Get it when you get to the airport. It is one of those places where you want to, as soon as you walk off the plane, there's ATMs in the airport and they're excellent. That's what we've done both times. It's up to you. It depends on whether or not you're going to be spending cash. I'd probably get $1,200 out, $100 a day. You shouldn't need that much. But there are a lot of things in Japan where you need cash. Is something wrong, honey? Are you sure? Are you looking? Is something like showing that's not supposed to be? Okay. Mr. Cruise Tips TV is looking around here like something's got 3 heads over on my side. I'm like, what's wrong? Stephanie, thank you so much for your kindness. I appreciate it. Yes, I am. I'll go ahead and stand up for a little while, though. I'm slouching. Sorry, guys. Okay. Vernon Womack said, is there a way to find out what groups are going to be on a cruise and what venues they'll be using? No. Oh, no. Take 5 was used for a private group only. I find that really frustrating, Vernon. We had that happen on Wonder of the Seas, and the Solarium Bistro was taken up the entire time. And I just don't like it. I don't think there is a way. Yeah. David Cook, welcome. I think David just subscribed. Welcome, David. Hope you're doing great. All right, what do we have here? Uh-oh, I lost my chat. Let me get it back. There we go. Okay. Lewis Frazier said, never been on a cruise before. My wife has any updates for beginner cruisers from the videos you have. Thank you. Yeah, Lewis, absolutely. You know what? This is the tricky part about cruising. Sometimes I think it's best just to kind of go into it and not overplan, right? We do have an intro to cruising masterclass you could sign up for if you want to. If you go to our website, cruisetipstv.com, and you click on tutorials, you can sign up for that. It's like $29 and you could get a start to finish education. But really there's some basic tips I'll give you as a new cruiser. Number 1, read the materials that the cruise line gives you. Also get involved in your Facebook groups, your cruise critic groups, things like that, in those roll calls before your cruise so that you can ask people questions that you might have, right? Never fly into your cruise port the day of your cruise. Always fly in the day before or more, right? Don't remove the gratuities. That's considered tacky. And just ask us as you go along and you're determining more about your cruise and you have questions, just keep asking us in these live streams every Tuesday night. We're your resource. Come on over. Bill Bayungo said, question, things to do on the Mexican Riviera first time. Yay, Bill. I love cruising the Mexican Riviera. We spent most of our lives in California. We cruised from Los Angeles, Long Beach to the Mexican Riviera on repeat for so many years. Some of my favorite things to do. In Cabo San Lucas, we love taking a water taxi over to Medano Beach. Also, wonderful thing to do there. If you see the camels and tequila excursion, that's a really fun one with your cruise line. If there's a sailing excursion, you can book with your cruise line or independently. Highly recommend those as well. In Puerto Vallarta, my favorite thing to do is to get a day pass at a resort for the day. My favorites are the Now Amber and the Hyatt Ziva. And in Mazatlan, I would recommend either going to a resort for the day or doing some kind of a city tour. Just see the city, get to know it, and you're gonna have a great time, Bill. The Wu-Tang Life said, did you see any other cruise lines getting into the couples or singles adults only cruise line game? Most cruise lines are family friendly. You mean other than Virgin Voyages right now, the Wu-Tang Life? Other than that, no. I mean, you still have Viking Ocean, and you do still have, there's a few outliers there that are more encouraging of adults only, right? But I think Virgin is kind of covering that right now. David R. said, missed your videos. Question, I see Carnival Firenze was set to sail Mexico this year, only 5 days. Are those worth it cruises? In my opinion, no. To me, 5 nights is exhausting. So it's tough. It's really tough. Ginger Pancake said, how do you pick a travel agent? I don't have any family friends that have used one. I spoke with you before about my bad experience and I don't know who to go with now. Yeah, Ginger, I know. It's a tough call. I think, there's some great recommendations of people who are in this chat. Like, for example, Mike and Cheryl's daughter is a really great travel agent. It's all just who you know, asking maybe on message boards. Like if you are going on a cruise and you belong to a roll call for that cruise and maybe you've booked with someone else, you could try that. But maybe you're better off booking on your own too. Some people don't need to work with a travel agent and shouldn't work with a travel agent. They want more control and they should just work with a cruise line directly. That might be you too. Carrie Breezy said, best ship for Alaska, most ports, best ports for the ship. Well, one thing I would look for, Carrie Breezy, is first of all, by the way, we have got a whole Alaska series coming to you this year. It's going to be great. I would say there's a couple things to look for. Number one, I would look for itineraries that include Glacier Bay if you can. Superior glacier viewing. Number two, I would look for cruise port times that you like. There are a lot of cruises out there that have really weird port times. For example, they'll be in Ketchikan from just 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then they'll be in Victoria from 8 p.m. to midnight. And maybe you want to see those places and you find that to be not so great. Really look at those times and let that be a determinant for you. Other than that, Carrie Breezy, it depends on your personality. If you're a Holland America princess or celebrity person, you're probably a little more mature and looking for a more quiet demographic, fewer children, but not kid-free, but maybe a little bit more premium. If you normally cruise with Royal Caribbean or you normally cruise with Carnival or you normally cruise with Norwegian, try those. Amazing Grace 8133 said, ugh. Uh-oh, I lost it. Oops, Alan, I'll come back to that. Oh, Alan, first let me do Alan's joke. I love you, Alan. It says, why do fish swim in salt water? Because pepper makes them sneeze. Oh, you're so cute. Amy Zing. Okay, yeah, I got it. Amazing Grace, 8133, so cute. Every time my hubby and I cruise, people are at the desk removing tips. I can't even, the most awkward and disrespectful thing ever. Yeah, it's horrifying. It's just, to me, it's awful. And that's why the tips keep going up, because this is what happens. This is what happens when people remove the tips, is that they just keep getting more expensive and the cruise lines are going to have to get that money back somehow. Tina Carrero says, any recommendations for things to do in Martinique? I've not been to Martinique. Anybody have Martinique suggestions? If you do, type Martinique or tag Tina, all caps. Kyla Peterson said, Alaska cruise ships, which ones have the best aft or vista balconies? Holland America and Princess have really good aft balconies. Probably bigger. I think that I think the smaller ones might be on Norwegian. So I think Holland America and Princess would be good. If you can get one, they book up really fast. They really do. They do, Kyla. Good luck with that, right? It's a little tricky. Anyway, so let me jump in here and see Mr. Cruise TV looks like he's dealing with something. First, Bear Bull Cruising with the super chat in the house. Thank you, Bear Bull Cruising. Appreciate you so much. Very, very awesome. Gina Malago. Gina said, what cruise line would you recommend for a honeymoon? Any cruise line could be good for a honeymoon depending on you. Even Disney, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, there's a possibility that any of those could be good for you. Gina, can you tell me a little bit more about what you think that you might be looking for in a cruise? Are you looking for like relaxation, or do you need to be go, go, go with lots of fun and very high tech? Do you want to cruise with a younger demographic or an older demographic? Like, Gina, what is your, sort of your vibe? Let me know. Ginger, yeah, we're really hoping to squeeze Alaska in this year, and it's looking really good. So you can probably count on some Alaska content. We'll keep you posted. Ginger, thank you for the kindness. You're so sweet. I appreciate that, and I saw. And Karen, yeah, I think we took care of that. I think it's all squared away there. So, yeah, I know with those gratuities, right? Thank you again, all of our patrons who are here, our Patreon members, Backstage Crew members. Thank you all so much, you guys. I am seeing your names in here, and I really appreciate all of the love and the support. It means a lot to us. Bailey said, I only cruise Princess and Holland America, go through Glacier Bay. Good advice. Heather Lee said, our Alaska cruise goes to Glacier Bay, and I'm so excited. Hope your series comes before we leave for Vancouver. I hope so, too. We're going to work on that for you. Margie Butcher said, we're planning on a legendary voyage of at least 30 days. Where should we go? Asia. Margie, Asia. If there's any way that you can do it. Are you talking about the New Holland America legendary voyages that just came out today? If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go to our website and type in Holland America Epic or Holland America Legendary. They just added, let me see what the voyages really are. Okay, they have a South Pacific Paradise, a rare New York journey to the Mediterranean, so many things. So you could do, they've got the Ultimate Mediterranean and Atlantic Passage. Okay, that looks cool. They have an island hopping adventure. Oh my gosh, Islands of the South Pacific for 28 days. Are you kidding me? Sails from Sydney and goes to the Great Barrier Reef. It looks like it doesn't actually go to Tahiti, but it goes to Fiji and Vanuatu and all. Okay, that looks amazing. There's also South Pacific Crossing Legendary Voyage. If I had to choose right now, I would tell you to do that South Pacific one because it's so unique. Wendy T said, is there any way to prepay gratuities on Norwegian? I could not find it in checkout. You might need to have your travel agent added on for you, Wendy T. I'm not sure about that. I'm trying to remember how I did that on my last Norwegian cruise, and I can't remember. Okay. Remember, you guys, type question if you can at the beginning of your questions just so we can see them. A lot of you are doing that. Secretary Weberdash said, question, I heard Carnival has a clause that even if you're just a victim of someone else being aggressive, they will charge you $500 or ban you for life. What do you think about that? I don't believe that. I think that they probably are going to fairly assess if there's a fight or something. I don't think you're going to get sucked into it. However, if you are with someone who does something stupid and you're part of their cruising party, you can get banned for life. But yeah, be careful about who you associate with, but I really don't think that they're just gonna, without an investigation, they're not just gonna kick you out of Carnival for life. George Amaya said, what made you guys move from Cali to Texas? George, there was a couple of things, a lot of things. Affordability and the desire to have land were the main things. And we wanted to live somewhere very green and piney. And believe it or not, Texas fit the bill for us. Where we live is very beautiful. It's like living in a campsite. It's like living in the mountains. We love it. Kyla Peterson, can you have an Alaska cruise specific Q&A? Absolutely, we sure can, Kyla. Consider it done, girlfriend. You bet. Maybe we'll make it an extra long one, Kyla. Okay. Hi, Susan. Glad you made it. Hello, Seth. How are you? Seth, are you home or are you still traveling? Okay. I think we're caught up on questions. So if we missed you, we think we're caught up. So you guys need to let us know. Good job, Danielle. I'm proud of you. Aloha, Seth. Oh my goodness. Okay, get those questions in the chat, guys. We're more than happy to help. I think we did a lot of discussion about Alaska today. Now, somebody I thought had a Japan question earlier. So if you have a Japan question and I didn't answer it, let me know. Susan said, question, which cruise lines are the best to go with for their air? Which ones allow you to choose your own? Susan, my personal preferences are Princess and Royal Caribbean for that. I think Holland America also does it. I'm researching that. I'll have to let you know, but I love Princess Easy Air and I love Royal Caribbean's air program. Not only do you choose your own air, but you don't have to pay until final payment date and you get extra assurances on the air. And if something happens and there's a delay, they'll get you there. Far superior. Love them, Susan. Jim Ring, oh my gosh, 22-day Alaska cruise that'll do scenic cruising to Endicott, Arms, Dawes Glacier plus Hubbard. Oh my gosh, I missed the rest of his thing, hun. Jim's. That's okay. I got it right here. Oh, okay, great. Sounds good. Congratulations, Jim. That's a very glacier-rich itinerary, huh? Amazing. What's going on, sweetie? Okay. Rhonda Babber, question, stopping in Freeport again in April. Thinking about doing either Banana Bay or the Lucayan. Oh, Freeport. I did not have a good experience in Freeport. I would do something though, like if you're in, either stay on the ship, don't just take a taxi somewhere or do an excursion. I'm not sure, Rhonda. I've not done Banana Bay, but I've heard the Lucayan Park is nice. Maybe try that one. Ginger said, should I make an effort to bump up my status on Princess before sailing Asia? I'm only Ruby now. Nah. Princess is already just so nice. I would just buy Princess Plus, honestly, because you're going to get, everything that status would get you and more by having Princess Plus if you can. Bill, congratulations on putting down a down payment on a mini suite. Way to go. Gina Malago. Oh, good. We get to find out about Gina's honeymoon style. So we get to recommend a cruise line to Gina. You're go, lots of fun, but also want the option for a nice relaxing day. You'd love to do a couple's cooking class or painting, just looking for a cruise that has lots of options. I'm going to recommend to you, Gina, I'm probably going to recommend Celebrity or Royal Caribbean for you then. Either one of those two. I think that both of them could be fantastic. Celebrity is going to be more adult. If you do choose Royal Caribbean, I would not go I wouldn't book your honeymoon depending on when you're getting married and when you're doing your honeymoon. If you could do it when school is in session and not on breaks, it's going to be a better vibe. You're still going to have a lot of activities though. Norwegian could also be very nice and romantic with a lot of activities for you on a honeymoon, for sure. Bruce, you're such a sweetheart. Thank you so very much. Bruce, I appreciate that super chat. And I did see you playing the flute today. I think it was on your YouTube stories, huh? I love it. Amy Zing said, what do you know about the Jones Act? Hubby and I just got off MSC early because his back was hurting so bad and they charged him $900 or $925 to get off. Okay. So yeah, the Jones Act is very complicated, but essentially it depends on a lot of different things. It's a very, very old law. That really is so outdated, but basically it's a cabotage law. So when you're going from one U.S. port to another U.S. port, right? Typically speaking, cruising is very, very simple. But if you start to complicate those matters, like if you start in one country and you end in another country, it gets a little bit more confusing. So for cruise ships, let me find a good resource to recommend so that you can actually understand it. Hang on one second. Okay, so here's the way that it works, okay? So the Jones Act, which is part of the Merchant Marine Act of 1920, is a federal statute that requires shipping to U.S. ports to be done by ships that were constructed in the U.S. So obviously cruise ships aren't, right? So they're foreign flagged. So foreign flagged ships, which is all cruise ships basically, except for like Pride of America, can't cruise between two ports that are located within the contiguous U.S. without basically visiting a foreign port. So I don't know why you were charged that money. That is really weird and sucky, but this got really complicated during COVID because Canada wasn't allowing passengers to come in. And so you couldn't do an Alaska cruise because you couldn't stop in a foreign port. So they had to get that part of the Jones Act waived. So it's just crazy. Oh, here's what it says. Oh, here we go. If a passenger disembarks early, perhaps due to a medical emergency without calling on a foreign port, the cruise lines risk getting fined. Yeah. Yep. Interesting. So you must have missed the foreign port. That must have been what happened. Wow. That is crazy. Susan said, have you been following along with the Royal Caribbean Ultimate World Cruise passengers on TikTok or IG? A little bit, but not a lot. I don't like to consume that much social media. It just, first, I don't have time, and second, I've heard it's like a crazy drama, but I do know a little bit about it. Part of what I know is from Wendy, my travel agent sponsor. She kind of fills me in, but it's very scandalous. I'm like, what on earth? How would I feel if I was just like a regular passenger on that ship and like sucked into all that drama? I just don't, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think about it, Susan? Vernon said, with the princess packages, do both people have to get the package? Yes, if you're adults, I think you both have to get it, yeah. Keith Brown said, we're doing an Eastern Med cruise. Wondering if you could recommend any must-see or must-do excursions in that part of the world. I need to know your ports, Keith. Maybe DM me or come over to the Amazon Live after this and give me those ports so we can help you. Shelly said, Cozumel trip is this weekend. Has anybody done the horseback riding trip or the 3-hour one through the jungle? I've never done those, Shelly. I've done taxi tours. I've done the beach clubs there, but that sounds really fun, and I'm sure you're going to have a blast. Amazing Grace continued, said he prepaid everything beverage package, but this is the 7th free cruise from the casino department. They did deduct a remainder left from that. Wow. That's amazing that he's got good free casino cruises. It must have been something that happened there. Wow. Geez. It didn't make it to the Bahamas, just Florida. Yep. That's what happened. Oh man. Amazing Grace. That's crazy. I've never heard of that happening before, but I'm sure that it does every so often. What cruise line were you on? Let me guess. Was it Carnival? I'm guessing it was. Maybe not. All right. Are we caught up, Mr. Cruise Tips TV, on questions, or do we have a few more? Yeah? Okay. Secretary Weber Davis said, are you guys going to get on Icon? No plans to. Honestly, guys, I'm not going to pay $6,000 for an inside cabin. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not really that interested in it right now. I'd love to see it someday, but it seems overstimulating and like too much for me. I'd love to check it out, but I'm not going to pay those prices for it. Is it worth it? I think it is. That's where I'm going to stump you. It's just not worth it for my family. I'm going to have a special podcast on this topic. I'm inviting Wendy, our travel agent sponsor, on. She just got off Icon today. She has a ton to say. It's an amusement park, you guys. It's an amusement park. So let's talk about it on the podcast. But for sure, a good question. Zach the Max said, what are some major differences we see between Canada, New England, and Alaska? Well, it's just a totally different region of the world. So Canada, New England, you're going to have all of that kind of colonial history. You're going to have the beautiful sort of European-looking architecture of Canada and New England. Like, you've got some beautiful scenery that's very unique too in Canada and New England, and the fall colors. And Alaska is just more like piney green and like snow-capped mountains, whale watching. It's all about a different type of kind of coastal experience. They're both majestic and beautiful, but Canada and New England kind of like in an East Coast colonial historic way, and eating lots of lobster and beautiful seafood, and Alaska in more like a going to see bears and whales and exploring and just taking in the pine air kind of a way, if that makes sense. It's a hard one, Zach the Mac. They're both wonderful though. They're both so good. Thank you, Kristen. I'm so excited you guys get to go. And how was the Boeuf Bourguignon last week? I heard that you were making something yummy. Okay, you're still traveling, Seth. Nice. Oh, I love it. Okay, guys, we're going to bop over to Amazon now. If your question went unanswered, within 5 minutes, we'll be live on Amazon, where we're going to talk about some travel deals. We've got luggage stuff. We've got gorgeous shoes, boots, purses, chargers, pill cases. All kinds of fun stuff. If you're up for it and you want to come hang with us there, the link is right there. Come on over. We'd love to have you there. Zach the Mac, I love it. You had me at lobster. We're closing on that, friends. See you in just a few minutes, and I'll see you next Tuesday, and we'll get that Alaska live stream planned. Until next time, see you on the high seas. Bye.
Cruiser of the week.
Hey, click me to subscribe.